Tell us where the future revenue growth is going to come from. And more importantly, since you're the CFO, where is the profit going to come from?
Yes, so you're correct that ChatGPT is the fastest consumer app that we've ever seen launched in human history. And it doesn't surprise me because we're doing something with this platform shift to AI that is unlike anything that we have all lived through in our lives, bigger than the internet revolution. ChatGPT today is 300 million users, but it's growing so fast. If I were here in October, I would have said 250 million. If I were here in August, I would have said 200 million. And we absolutely saw a re-acceleration again in that kind of fall timeframe because we launched our reasoning models. So you just talked about product. Remember, we've lived through an era of chatbots, ChatGPT, and now we're lifting up again into the era of reasoning with O1, originally O1 Preview, and we just launched O1 formally last week as the first day of the 12 days of OpenAI. Today it is very much a consumer product, but you're right. We think we serve customers across the spectrum. Consumers, large businesses, large enterprise, all the way down to the smallest businesses through our Teams product, and then ultimately to developers, because we need to force multiply what is ultimately our mission of building AGI for the benefit of humanity.
We're going to get back to AGI, but another product question. So you launched Sora yesterday, video generator, but you had to suspend the account creations actually because there was too much demand, and I think Sam Altman said, we're working on it. So what's happening?
Yeah, so we have been so excited to bring Sora out to the world. We demoed it, I think, back in February, and then went back and retrained the model. But in that interim time, we also gave ourselves a moment to go start working with creators, because frankly, these are the real tip of the spear, the true tastemakers that are going to show us all a path of how to use this amazing text-to-video generating technology. We think that is an incredibly important technology because this is how AI will interact with the world. It needs to understand video. It needs to understand, in some ways, how we as humans interact with one another. So don't think of it as just a product. Think of it as a core building block to ultimately what AI and then AGI becomes. And we are the only company with that, with all of this whole selection of models available today. We did launch Sora yesterday. I hope at least some of you in the room got the chance to play with it. It's super fun. I was building all sorts of interesting little video clips to send off to the family. And I say that actually a little tongue-in-cheek because I do think it is aimed at this vast spectrum of everyone from a consumer. We have already folks who know the TikTok nation, the Instagram nation, and so on, how to use video in really creative ways. My teenagers are experts, it would appear, all the way up to the most sophisticated users in the entertainment space who are creating, the things that help us escape from our work lives and really kind of also enjoy that creative side.
I mean, there were some early reviews, and some people said it was so good that it was scary good. I mean, does it scare you at any level?
I think we have come to the market really safety first, and this is something that is deeply embedded within OpenAI. And you see, in particular with Sora, the team really took the time to explain where we have gated ourselves. That's one of the reasons why the number of signups yesterday we were gating. Some of it is just we need capacity, but a lot of it is also we want to be measured. When you go all the way to things like likeness, that is only available to a very small selection of people today because we want to listen and learn. What we've realized with ChatGPT is it behooves us often to get tech out there and see what you all do with it. Frankly, that's where the innovation comes from. But that there are places where we will go a little slower to make sure that we are constantly moving safety first as well.
And obviously video generation in Hollywood, friend or foe?
Definitely friend here. Look, we view this as a technology that can augment what humans are already great at. And the greatest creators in the world are residing in places like Hollywood, for example. And so we want to work with them in the same way that CGI brought us a whole new way of thinking about movie making, right? Remember that first time you saw Toy Story or you saw Monsters, Inc. or whatever? Now you start to have an augmentation to how creators can think about making a movie, for example. As I have talked to folks in the entertainment industry, I just met with a customer last week. who does a lot in and around more TV, but live TV. So if you think about what live TV today is, it's sports and news. It's really the last two bastions of live TV. It's very expensive to produce, takes a lot of people, takes a lot of tech. And so he was kind of explaining what it was like to be managing, say, a live basketball game. So you have video feed coming in from all around the court. You have the commentators sitting on the edge of the court. You have the folks back in the box. Maybe you have the folks even back in a different location. And you have tons of metadata coming at you fast. And in real time, you have to almost decide what clip you're going to have. Now, I'm a Warriors fan. I'm sorry, different coast. And Kuminga was literally having the game of his life. I always thought these commentators were brilliant. I'm like, how do they know all these stats? Turns out it's in their ear, people. And he was explaining how they're using our technology to make that real-time TV edit and cut happen, and how it's improving the customer outcome. So to me, it's a great example of where it's not a replacement, it is a true augmentation for ultimately just a better entertainment outcome. And so we get pretty excited about how we can work with the best and the brightest at this, but also seed creativity in places that maybe haven't had the chance to have that sort of creativity before, because these tools have not been available to you unless you could really own kind of enterprise class software.
But how will we know when we've reached AGI? How do you define it?
Yeah, we have actually tried to not overly define, but instead give this ladder of what we expect to see. There's a lot of benchmarks out there that others have put forth. And what I see with O1, frankly, is it's already hitting a lot of the benchmarks. Like originally, if you think about the Turing test, it was a very basic point of view of like, could a model do this? Check, done. Then it became, could it be this level in math, in biology, in physics, in coding, and so on? Check. I mean, O1 is a reasoning model. It's already there. It's PhD level in all of these things.
But so is it 2 years? So, I mean, give us a timeline then. Is it 2 years away? Is it 10 years away?
We think it's more likely to be kind of in the shorter term. I don't believe it's a decade, actually.
Okay, so closer to the 2 years.